For this edition of In the Boardroom with Lucy Marcus, we're talking about the Hewlett-Packard autonomy debacle. HP has made allegations of major accounting fraud, taking an $8.8 billion write-down on its British software company. When HP paid $11.1 billion for autonomy last year, some 15 different financial, legal and accounting firms are involved in the transaction. Lucy joins me now. Lucy, let's just set the context here. How does something like this happen? Did autonomy not tell the truth, or did they massage the figures? What do you think?
That's what we're trying to figure out, and that's what the investigation is for. There are a lot of actors in this, as you point out, all of those different organizations. And everybody's trying to figure out where does the buck stop, and everybody's trying to pass it a little bit. As they begin to do investigations on this area, they'll be looking at the board of autonomy at the time and the audit committee of that board, the board of HP, which was going through incredible flux and continues to go through flux. They'll also be looking at the auditors who were responsible for auditing the accounts of autonomy in particular, and also the people who were supposed to be doing due diligence on the deal. So there's plenty of people to take a look at. If autonomy was found to be massaging the numbers, I mean, these are issues. I've been in technology companies for more than 20 years, and these discussions about revenue recognition and how we count the money and how and who does what and international business and so on. These are issues that we've been dealing with for many years, and of course HP is very familiar with them. So nothing should come as a surprise. Particularly, and the people who were brokering these deals are very experienced.
All right, Lucy, let me ask you. Deloitte has said you can have a perfectly sound audit and still have fraud exist. What do you think HP's board could have done better, if anything?
Well, that's an interesting thing to say. It's true, and we've seen in countless times that if somebody is really going to try to hide something and really hide something, then there's only so much you can do. But you've got to be awfully good at hiding. What more could the board have done? Well, I mean, again, Autonomy's board actually will be held to account if things were hidden and they were unaware of it. I mean, I've been the chair of audit committees of international businesses, and it is a complex and job that requires quite a lot of attention and care. I think it's a great job because it's one where you have the opportunity to see all the numbers, and the numbers tell a story. And if somebody's determined to hide something, you can dig and dig, but there's only so much you can find. But I think it's going to be a much more complicated story here than just that.
So what happens now? Just to finish up, Lucy, what happens now? What's the time frame? What's going on at the top level of these audit firms, these legal firms, these accounting firms that are involved?
Well, I can guarantee you that within the professional services firms who serviced this deal, they are going through things with a fine-tooth comb, because they've got to make sure that they find, if they've missed anything, find out what it is, and if they haven't missed anything, they've got to have all of their ducks in a row. In the meantime, they're also probably reviewing significantly all of the paperwork that went through the deal. Autonomy's ex-board will probably be looking back and seeing if they've missed something. Everybody's going to be very busy trying to figure out, who did what when.
Just to put you on the spot to finish up with, Lucy, as someone who knows a lot of these people who sit on these boards, you sit on a lot of boards. Do board members in general of tech companies know enough about the detail, know enough about the what is actually being audited and the whole audit issue?
Well, most of the time, audit committees are chaired and peopled by, one hopes, sophisticated financial professionals of varying kinds. And we see what happens when that doesn't happen. I mean, even in the past year, we've seen issues around audit and accounting in companies like Groupon and so on. So, nobody takes up this position as an audit chair or as or someone who sits on the audit committee lightly. and if they do, they shouldn't. I think it's a great committee to sit on because you really understand what's happening in the company and you're able to dive deep. But also, every board member should be diving deep. And one of the things to know is you don't have more liability as a board director if you're sitting on the audit committee than if you don't, because you still need to know your numbers and you still need to know what's going on.
All right, Lucy, many thanks for that. Lucy Marcus joining us via Skype. That was In the Boardroom with Lucy Marcus. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.